In this episode of Walking the World, we'll travel around Lago Trasimeno in Umbria. Some of the footage comes from my old GoPro camera, sorry for the quality. Let's start. Lake Trasimeno is located in central Italy, near the town of Perugia. Historically, Lake Trasimeno is well known for the Battle of Lake Trasimeno, which took place in 217 BC during the Second Punic War between Romans and Carthaginians led by Hannibal. The Carthaginians defeated the Romans in a surprise attack, resulting in a significant Roman loss. The lake has also been a strategic and economically important area throughout history, with various settlements and towns established along its shores. Today, Lago Trasimeno is a popular tourist destination known for its picturesque landscapes, charming villages, and outdoor recreational activities. Our first stop is a small town called Borghetto, with two interesting sites. The first known settlement dates back to Etrusco-Roman era, with remains found in Punta Bella. By the 12th century, Badiaccia had an ancient settlement linked to the Abbey of Farneta. In the 13th century, Borgo Nuovo was mentioned, and in 1385 it was fortified by Perugian magistrates. From the 15th century, rising lake levels frequently flooded Borghetto, which was a fishing port in 1566 and gained a reputation for lawlessness and smuggling. The Church of San Martino in Borghetto is located facing the main square of the village. The church's history dates back to 1916, with references to an abbey dedicated to San Martino della Vena, in a document from 1238. The current building, dating back to the 14th century, was constructed alongside the Borghetto Castle. The Tower of Borghetto, mentioned in a document from 1422, served as a prison for fishing rule breakers for about 4 centuries. The area also witnessed historical events like conflicts between noble families, including the Battle of Borghetto in 1501, when the Baglioni family decimated the Deli Oddi family. The region attracted smugglers and bandits due to its border location, resulting in a tumultuous history marked by conflicts and contraband activities. Next stop, Tuoro sul Trasimeno, where you will find a highly informative museum dedicated to the Battle of Lake Trasimeno. The Battle of Lake Trasimeno, fought on June the 21st, 217 BC, was a decisive Carthaginian victory under Hannibal against the Romans led by Gaius Flaminius. Hannibal ingeniously ambushed the Romans by positioning his troops in the hills around the lake. As the Roman army marched along the narrow path between the lake and the hills, Hannibal's forces attacked from all sides, trapping the Romans with no room to maneuver. The ambush resulted in a devastating defeat for Rome, with thousands of soldiers killed or captured, marking one of Hannibal's most successful battles. The battle resulted in approximately 15,000 to 20,000 Roman casualties, dealing a severe blow to Rome's military morale and strategy, and showcasing Hannibal's tactical genius. The Museo della Battaglia del Trasimeno in Tuoro sul Trasimeno provides an in-depth look at this pivotal crash. Passignano sul Trasimeno is only a few kilometers away. The oldest part of the city maintains its appearance as a fortified village, still visible today and enclosed within medieval walls, with surviving access gates and towers, such as the so-called Torre di Ponente, which still bears the city's coat of arms. In the 15th century, the powerful Deli Oddi family owned properties in the area, including various holdings around Lake Trasimeno. At the highest point of the city stands the Rocca, a medieval fortress that now houses the Museum of Boats. The town itself mainly developed during the modern era, between the 16th and 17th centuries. In the 16th century, the Church of San Rocco, built in Renaissance style, and the Sanctuary of Madonna del Olivieto, probably designed by Mariotto Radi, were constructed. If you have a car, you can visit Castel Rigione, a well-preserved medieval village 10 kilometers from Passignano. It offers panoramic views of the lake and historic architecture, including its 13th century fortifications and the Renaissance Church of Madonna dei Miracoli. Following the devastating earthquakes in central Italy in 2016, particularly those affecting Norcia and surrounding areas, there were significant efforts to provide support and resettlement options for displaced residents. Passignano sul Trasimeno, among other locations, was one of the towns that hosted residents from Norcia and other affected areas. Whenever I visit Passignano, I always go for a sandwich at the Delizie di Norcia in the city center. Come here if you crave a sandwich with meat and cheese from Norcia.
So whenever I'm here in Passignano, I always go and visit this place to have panino with some local, in this case it's mortadella and some cheese, and something to drink. So that's how it looks like. It's really tasty.
For a complete experience, visit Passignano's lakeside attractions, explore the local historic sites, and take a ferry to the nearby Isola Maggiore. The earliest records date back to 1817, when Emperor Louis the Pious granted Perugia and Lake Trasimeno, including its 3 islands, to Pope Paschal I. In 1211, Saint Francis of Assisi retreated to one of the islands for Lent, leading to the construction of a church and a Franciscan convent in 1328 to commemorate this event. The island later saw various changes in jurisdiction and ownership, and the Franciscan convent, transformed into a private castle, has been abandoned since incomplete restoration efforts in 2005. Chiesa del Buon Gesù. This church merged with the Name of Jesus confraternity in the 15th century. It underwent Baroque renovations between the 17th and 18th centuries, featuring ornate stone altarpieces with Baroque spiral columns and artworks including Anton Maria Garbi's Presentation of Jesus in the Temple and Giacomo Giorgetti Assumption of the Virgin and Saints. Church of St. Michael the Archangel. Perched on a hill, the 12th century Church of St. Michael the Archangel is one of Isola Maggiore's most significant historical sites. Originally built in the 12th century, this church has been a central part of the island's history. It stands as a testament to the island's medieval past and provides stunning views over the lake. Guglielmi Castle and World War II. Guglielmi Castle, constructed in the 1980s on the site of an older Franciscan monastery, has a poignant history. During World War II, from February 1944 to June 1944, the castle served as an internment camp for Jews and political prisoners. The internment camp's fate changed when British forces arrived, and the prisoners were rescued by local fishermen, an act memorialized by a monument near the Lace Museum. The castle, which later fell into despair, was being converted into a resort before the project went bankrupt in 2010. Ristorante L'Osso. For a delightful culinary experience, Ristorante L'Osso offers an excellent opportunity to sample local fish dishes paired with fine white wines, providing a true taste to the island's gastronomy. Isola Maggiore is a place where history, culture, and natural beauty converge, offering visitors a rich tapestry of experiences, from its historic churches and landmarks to its local traditions and cuisine. Next stop, Toricella. Toricella, a quaint village, overlooks Lake Trasimeno and has a rich history. It was burned by Sacconi Tarlati in 1335, visited by King Federico of Bourbon in 1816 and 1824, and benefited from the 1866 railway connecting Perugia, the lake, and Florence, boosting local commerce. In 1895, a new road was built along the lake, enhancing accessibility. Today, Toricella offers scenic lakeside views and historical charm, with remnants of its past evident in its architecture and surroundings. The Chiesa del Sacro Cuore in Toricella, Umbria, was built in 1927. The church was constructed to serve the local Catholic community, reflecting the growth and development of religious and community infrastructure in the early 20th century. Next stop, Monte del Lago. Monte del Lago, a village on a promontory overlooking Lake Trasimeno, has a history dating back to the 10th century as Mons Fontegianus. It was fortified in 1312 under the Commune of Perugia to defend against Emperor Henry VII. During the papal rule in the 16th century, it became an administrative center due to its strategic location. Castello di Zocco, built in 1274 near Maggiore, overlooking Lake Trasimeno, was a formidable stronghold with 7 towers, 3 gates, and robust walls. Initially a villa with 150 inhabitants, it was upgraded to a castrum after 1403. The castle sheltered Perugians fleeing a plague in 1456 and withstood a Florentine siege in 1479. In 1486, a defensive well was added. Decline began in the 16th century due to poor management and rising lake waters, eventually leading to a fishing community. By the early 20th century, it was inhabited by farmers and later owned by the Palombaro family of Rome. Sadly, you cannot enter it now. The Chiesa della Madonna della Neve, located near Castello di Zocco on the San Feliciano Monte del Lago road, was built in the late Middle Ages as a votive chapel for pilgrims. It features a facade with a brick rose window and 2 small pilgrim windows, and inside it houses a fresco The Madonna with Child. The church is open exclusively on August 5th for the feast of Santa Maria della Neve. San Feliciano, named after Saint Felician of Foligno, who preached by Lake Trasimeno, commemorates him with a relic displayed annually on January the 24th. The town also celebrates Saint Spiridione, patron of fishermen, on December the 14th. The town's economy focuses on fishing, tourism and crafts. Notable sites include the Neo-Gothic Church of San Feliciano, 1905, and the Fishing Museum. The museum is rarely accessible. From San Feliciano, you can take a ferry to Isola Polvese. Isola Polvese's name likely comes from Polvento, meaning leeward area. In 1817, Emperor Louis the Pious granted the island to Pope Paschal I, along with Perugia and Lake Trasimeno's other islands. By 1139, the island, under Perugia's protection, thrived on fishing and small-scale agriculture. In the 17th century, its decline began with the departure of the Olivetan monks and damage from Tuscan troops. By the 18th century, the island had few inhabitants and was privately owned. In 1959, Count Giannino Citerio purchased and renovated it, and in 1973, it was acquired by the province of Perugia. The 10th to 14th century monastery of San Secondo, located at the island's summit, features only its external walls today, and it's under renovation. Now we'll pass by San Saviano. San Saviano's history dates back to 1006, when Count Pietro Antone founded a monastery on a hill, protected by a square fortress completed in 1180. The castle faced decline due to wars, leading to reconstruction and repopulation efforts. Today, remnants include a port and a newly built church from the 18th century, replacing earlier ones. We'll finish our trip in Castiglione del Lago. Castiglione del Lago, located on Lake Trasimeno's western shore, has a rich history dating back to the Etruscans, who first settled the area. Under Roman rule, the town was expanded and became a strategic site along the Via Cassia Arentina. In the 13th century, the town was fortified with the construction of the Rocca del Leone, a significant defensive structure named for its pentagonal shape, reminiscent of the Leo constellation. By the 16th century, Castiglione del Lago was governed by the Della Cornia family, who elevated it from a march to a duchy. The town saw significant urban development during this period, including the enlargement of the Palazzo della Cornia and the establishment of an intellectual and cultural hub. In the 20th century, Castiglione del Lago gained military significance with the establishment of the Regia Aeronautica airfield and training school. The town's strategic location made it a focal point during various historical conflicts, including World War II, when it was intersected by the defensive Albert Line. Today, Castiglione del Lago is celebrated for its historical and cultural heritage, and is part of Italy's most beautiful villages network. The town's most notable sites include the Rocca del Leone, 13th century fortress renowned for its distinctive triangular tower and pentagonal layout. Originally constructed to defend against regional conflicts, it remains a prominent example of medieval military architecture. The Palazzo della Cornia, an elegant Renaissance palace, was expanded and refurbished under the Cornia family in the 16th and 17th centuries. Designed by architects Jacopo Barozzi da Vignola and Galazzo Alessi, the palace features frescoes by Niccolò Circignani and Salvio Savini, showcasing mythological themes and historical events. This palace served as a cultural and intellectual center, and attracting prominent artists and scholars. The Chiesa di Santa Maria Maddalena, rebuilt in the 19th century, stands on the site of an earlier church which origins in the 11th century. Its neoclassical design includes notable artworks such as a 14th century Madonna del Latte and a fresco by Mariano Pierivittori. Together, these sites reflect Castiglione del Lago's historical significance and cultural richness. In July, you can enjoy a cinema experience at the castle with very affordable tickets and films in English. For dining, my favorite is Ristorante La Cantina, which serves Umbrian cuisine and lake fish, all with a breathtaking view of the lake. If you're in the mood for Umbrian snacks, visit Umbria Terra Isole SRL for a locally crafted beer, excellent wine, and a selection of local cheeses and meats. For a lively night out, Castiglione del Lago offers numerous bars by the lake with live music, DJs, and great drinks. Summary. My recommendation is to rent a bike for a full day. If you want to explore the lake and enjoy the natural beauty, the distance is around 65 to 70 kilometers. I suggest spending an entire day exploring the two islands. If you want to travel faster, I recommend Umbria in Vespa in San Saviano, where you can rent a scooter to go around Umbria. The best place to stay is Campeggio Listro, which offers all amenities you need and allows you to wake up to a stunning view of the lake. Look how serene it is. If you're looking for parties, I recommend either Passignano sul Trasimeno or the shore around Castiglione del Lago. Cost: bike for one day, 15 euros. Ferry from Passignano to Isola Maggiore, 9:30 round ticket. Ferry from San Feliciano to Isola Polvese, 6 euros. Lunch at Isola Maggiore, 15 euros. Sandwich in Passignano sul Trasimeno, 6 euros. I hope you enjoyed this short documentary about Lago Trasimeno. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep dreaming, keep exploring, and keep living your best life. Ciao!